Today is November 12th, 1995. Liz and Rodney and Mom and I are at 1813 Mount Vernon Street. We're loading up some tools and other things to take to my house and Diane and David's house as Mom is getting ready to move to her new condo on Wayne Avenue. This is the house that Lyle and Henrietta built 39 years ago. Are you excited out?
I'm trying.
Yeah, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of leaf crunching going on.
We're looking at the recreation room or den. Originally this was going to be a garage, but later on Dad decided to turn it into a family room. And you can see that it has a lovely brick chimney and a slate roof. For this part, Dad did these special jobs himself. He did have help on the slate roof and chimney on the main part of the house. But mostly it was just an incredible labor of love for someone who worked all day and came over here and worked many hours and every weekend to build most of the house himself with Mom's help and actually a lot of Becky's help, although she was a reluctant preteen helper. As I recall, Diane was just allowed to watch and be pretty and be petted. By the way, here's Diane's daughter, Liz. There you go. There you go. Oh, now we're looking at the back of the house. See the pretty slate roof? That's meant to be a lifetime roof, and it's held up pretty well so far. I'm awfully proud of the chimney work too. I think they're beautiful chimneys. One of the nicest parts of the exterior. And the frame, the wood is called board and batten, or vertical boards. And it turns out there aren't many of those in Waynesboro, so that was a nice touch that set this house apart. Now we're going to go back and get a full view of the back of the house. I am so embarrassed. Of the back. Well, you probably know Mom and Dad have always been bird lovers, bird watchers, bird encouragers. Dad and Mr. Quillen, in fact, built hundreds of bluebird houses in an attempt to bring the bluebirds back to the valley. Listen to her, wait a minute. All right, here's the busy little Henrietta, still busy, still going strong and bossing us all around. Now I'd like to show you the shed that Dad built. When we first came here in the 50s, one of Dad's hobbies was bird dogs. And the middle building, sorry, this little building was originally a dog kennel with nice concrete runs and facilities for washing it out and flushing it into the sewer. That was one of my jobs too. The middle building was his first addition when he retired. I believe he started when he retired. And at one point I was thinking of making that my house here in Waynesboro, because when you add all these little additions up, you got a nice sized building that could easily have 2 rooms, a bath, and a kitchen. Whew, all right, now we'll go inside the shop unless Mom's locked it up. Can you turn it off?
Yeah. In the way.
Are we in? Okay. We're now inside the main part of the workshop. It's a little cluttered now with junk that we're hoping to sell at a yard sale. And most of the tools have been carried off by now to either my house or Diane and David's. Now Mom's going to tell us a little bit about some of the adventures we had building this.
Well, originally this little room in here was our dog kennel. We had 4 bird dogs. Then Lyle started this from the ground up. I don't know how long we were doing this, but and David and Diane came to help us. David hit Diane in the head with a board. she was standing behind him. The reason they came was because Lyle had me lifting these heavy boards to him up on the roof. So David said, Diane, I think we better go up there and help your mom out a little bit. So Lyle finished this, and then he got sick. But after his first operation, he added on the little shed that's out there now where we keep the lawnmower and things like that.
Well, we'll go look at the final addition
Yeah.
to the workshop.
This was the final part of the workshop. So, tried to do it as much like the house as we could, with even the little shutters
Do the little door up.
and all the trim, the doors. And, he wanted his little weather vane very much, so we got
Weather
that
vane.
and put it up on the
Can you get the weather vane?
The weather vane is over here. Okay. So that tells us which way the wind is blowing, I guess. Anyway, the little shop was all finished now.
And one of the interesting things you'll notice is Dad did try to carry out the same details on the hardware and the other parts that are on the main house. He would come up to Severna Park and we'd go shopping the, it was a salvage mart for these little windows, which are actually kits. Salesmen of, storm windows would discard their kits at these salvage marts, and Dad would buy them and then sort of build the additions around the windows that he found. It's fun. All right, now we're going to go back in and look at the interior. All right, we're on the breezeway, and we're heading into the den. I think this was Dad's favorite room. He certainly indicated that to me a few times.
And spent a lot of time out here.
Yeah, and
As you notice, we've taken down, he was a collector. We've taken down all his bottles and his beer mugs. His favorites we're going to keep, and the rest we're going to sell.
so let's move in on the fireplace and the paneling and all that. It's very, very nice.
Now this is one of Liz's favorite pictures, so we're giving that to her. Her grandfather wanted her to have that. I'm not sure if he framed that or not,
Yeah, he had it.
but we
framed.
did buy the painting over at Miller Rose. They ordered that for us.
And since Grandpa and Lizzie shared horses in common as an interest, we're trying to give her the things that are related to horses. Courtney and Grandfather had a keen interest in birds, and someday Courtney will have this print that was one of Dad's favorites. And then with Dietrich, Grandpa shared a lot of interest in fishing and the water, and as he came to visit us in Severna Park sailing. So Grandma would like for Deke to have this picture one day of the beach scene, which was also one of Dad's favorites. Okay, turn it off. Now, let's go into the kitchen. Now we're in the kitchen, maybe everybody's favorite spot in the house next to the den, because they get to sit down and watch Henry cook some of those delicious meals and have a cup of tea. And it is a very cozy little kitchen. The house wasn't designed for a lot of modern conveniences. We sacrificed a laundry room for the nice den, so we had to put our laundry in the kitchen, which was okay. These are the original pine cabinets that Dad installed and finished. And now we're going into the dining room, which I think is maybe the prettiest room in the house. All right, I want you to see the windows, which have a nice view of the backyard and decorate up real pretty with the shutters. And this is where we'd have the family Christmas and Thanksgiving and Easter dinners most of the time. And almost everybody was able to get in from wherever they were living in the last 10 or 20 years. for those occasions. So we have many lovely meals here to remember. Now we're heading into the living room, which after the den was built, we didn't spend too much time here, but people have always remarked on the beautiful fireplace wall. Mr. Southers, and I'll ask Mom to help me some on this,
Okay.
who is Aunt Claire's father, was a master bricklayer,
Right.
and he laid the fireplace, which again is very unusual. Rodney, I need your help, because I'm getting all... But first I want to show you, so don't go too fast. This is Rodney, Lizzie's new husband, and a most welcome new member to our family. Now, Rodney, let's try to get the little log place for the logs and the little oven. So you won't see many fireplaces like this in Waynesboro.
Becky, you might tell him that Lyle made that hood, that copper hood.
Oh, and the copper hood is his dad's handiwork, as is all the paneling. And I'm going to go up across the mantel, which is very pretty. And Mom always would do her prize-winning Christmas decorations. The house was open to the town for the Garden Club Christmas tour. I think more than once, Mom, or just once?
I think it was only one.
Okay. And the staircase wall is also very pretty. And most of the detailing in the house is meant to replicate the 18th century Williamsburg work. And I think Dad's done a really good job on that. All right, we're going to go back into the bedrooms now.
I'm trying to
Yeah, when you see yourself.
Peeking around the corners. Okay,
This is the master bedroom.
first comes the master bedroom. And we'll pan around that. And then I'll ask Rodney to focus on the stenciling, which Diane did a few years ago when we repainted. It's quite lovely. Very nice. Took her a little longer than she thought it would, but it's her usual careful job. Okay. Now we'll go down the hall to the guest bedroom. Just a quick peek in there. And talk about it. Okay. Now this is a pretty little room. And what I remember most about this is that we fixed it up originally for Grandmother Courtney to come over and spend some nights or stay as long as she wanted to. There was only one thing she didn't like about this room, and that's that Mom and Dad, after much asking from me, bought me a piano, an old upright. It was cute as it could be. Big old clunky thing. And we put it against that wall. Well, Grandmother never really got used to the piano in her bedroom. But it sure brought me a lot of joy.
So the piano finally had to go. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll look at the backyard and then why don't we take a peek through the window? Just a little one. Okay, you can turn it off and go upstairs. Now we're heading upstairs to the room that Diane and Becky shared.
And I might add, had a few quarrels.
Right. As far as I remember, we got along pretty well in the early years, but by the time I was in my late teens and she was in her early teens, it was pretty much steady war. And my now neat to perfection sister was at one point very messy, and I was going through a neat phase, and it just about drove me crazy. So I came up with the idea of perhaps getting Mom and Dad to let me put a bedroom in the closet or the attic. That didn't go over very well, but it shows how desperate I was to get away from the preteen Diane.
Anywhere else?
Just do that pretty wall again. The room has always been adorable. The first way we had it was with a dainty little locket wallpaper in a very soft muted red and white. And that lasted for about, 30-some years. It's only in the last few years that we've painted the walls.
I'd like to point out that this table right here, Rod, was my grandmother Courtney's. It's very old and it was handmade.
Oh.
So I'm definitely keeping that in the family. That's Deke's little rocking chair.
That was his baby rocker.
Yeah,
That's right.
so each one of the grandchildren have gotten their rocking chairs, and I see Liz has returned hers to her mom's basement, but she will get it eventually.
Let's go and I'll show you the closet that I really thought I could possibly get a cot in here and have a little privacy.
Now that is David's gun rack, which we're planning to move today. David is a great gun lover.
That's big.
And peek at the little bathroom. And the
Please,
last,
Becky, don't go in the
the
attic.
last stop is this nice attic, which I also thought with a little work could be my bedroom. Didn't happen. But would make a cute room, actually.
Oh, and this hanging wall, oh, we have these things.
Liz and Rodney
Oh my
brought us
gosh,
some
Becky.
stuff to wrap things in, but unfortunately it was soaking wet. It got wet on their porch, Mom, I just found
Yeah,
out.
okay.
All right,
This is-
so now we're going to go down and out, and I'll show you the neighbors' houses, the nice neighbors. Here we go. The house on this side today belongs to the Worleys, Sue and Mike and their children Laura and Kevin, who have been wonderful, wonderful neighbors and friends of Mom's and Dad's, and in fact are pretty heartbroken that Mom's leaving the neighborhood. Before they bought the house, it belonged to Harold and Mildred Vi, who were great, great friends of Mom's and Dad's, and had many social activities together, and just a wonderful couple, both sadly deceased now. And on the other side, we have the Busey's, Al and Faye, and their children, who have all left home now, but Al and Faye are still there. And again, just wonderful, wonderful neighbors who are always there to help Mom and Dad or just to have fun with them. Across the street, we have some really good friends of Mom and Dad's also, Carl and Sheila Litzinger, the most recent owners of the Gray House. And Carl and Sheila have been wonderful neighbors and friends, and I'm especially appreciative of, after Dad died, how willing they were to help Mom any little thing that needed to be done on short notice. So we're leaving some absolutely fabulous neighbors, but we're only going a mile, so I'm sure we'll see plenty of them. Let's go back in. Now, let's see. Let's just step back and get one last big shot. We're going to fade back now and take one final shot of the house from the street. Really been a great place to grow up in, and I'm unbelievably proud of my parents for doing so much of the work themselves, and to this day have no idea how they did it. I just know that I never could. And I'd like to thank our photographer, Rodney, and our assistant, Liz, the newlyweds, who came all the way from Alexandria today just to do this. They're also helping carry a whole lot of stuff in their new pickup truck, which came just at the right time. Say goodbye, folks. All right. Rodney, come turn it off.
Why don't you get Becky and your grandmother out here?
Yeah, okay, that'll be fun.
Right at the door.
Come on, Mom, we can wave goodbye to the camera. Oh, she's in the bathroom.
Okay.
I don't think I can say.
Okay, well, that's fine. Here we are at the end of the movie, and we're all still working very hard. And this is 39 years. I already said how proud I was of y'all. So we'll just wave goodbye, and maybe we'll take a few shots down on Wayne Avenue to show you the pretty new condo. Thank you. Well, here we are
Now,
at Patterson Court, about a mile and a half from Mount Vernon Street.
I will be moving here from my home the 11th of December.
Now,
I think I'm going to be very happy here.
that's nice.
It's much smaller, and I won't have as much yard and all those things to take care of. So we will see.
Now, Patterson Court is a development of 6 units with 3 more pending. The next 3 will be built right here in the mid area, and you can see the 3 on the other side. Across the street we have Grace Lutheran Church, and on the other corner we have St. John's Episcopal Church. We'll put libraries in the next block, and downtown's about 2 blocks away, so it couldn't be more centrally located. Mom's looking forward to taking her walks downtown because we've noticed how many people do their exercise downtown. So far, there seems to be retired couples, 2 other widows, and a widower who will be moving into one of the vacant units soon. Well, there's not too much to see yet. We're all anxious to try out some decorating ideas, and it's just an adorable
You're not going to film.
little place.
You need some light.
That's okay. We're not going to do much here today. This is a bedroom with a full bath. Probably going to be Mom's bedroom and bath. And I'm getting a little blurred here because I've never done this before.
Becky, where is the build? Which word is this build?
Upstairs in the guest room.
Okay, so we're off.
The kitchen is everybody's favorite here because not only is it bright and white and cheery, but it's got a skylight. Now, Mom's across the yard neighbor is a person of some prominence here in Waynesboro. He's Mr. Ed Berlin, who still was editor of the Waynesboro News Virginia and now writes a column, although he's somewhat incapacitated. Excuse me, that's not meant to be funny. But no, he's great, except wishing he hadn't smoked so much. Now we're heading upstairs to what will probably be the guest room in this very charming little condo. And it has 2
You're going to run out of tape before you get to Mama's.
really nice dormers, windows, which look out on those pretty condos across the way, and has the added advantage of having a 9 by 12 storage area, which has a lot of possibilities, and the hot water heater. Now, we're gonna, by the way, on our way to Patterson Court,
That's it.
we stopped at 12th Street and Cherry Avenue, which is my house, and Rodney photographed the front of it. Now that's about 3 blocks from here, so Mom and I'll be closer than ever.
Ain't that wonderful?
Good news for everybody. Okay, turn it off. I have to get my car. We're at 788 Cherry Avenue. This is Diane David's home. It's about 2 blocks from me and about 5 blocks from Mom's new condo. So let me just step back over here. Take my yard. Get a long shot. This was the scene of many of the festivities for Rodney and Liz's wedding this past August. We had a great pool party.